My new favorite author this year. And I have to say, new favorite author is going to go to The House in the Cerulean Sea. And that's not the author, that's the book. Ciao. Anyways. Hello nerds, welcome back to another video. Gabriella here. Today is a good day and it's going to get even better because we are now officially past the halfway point of the year. So it is time for the mid-year freakout tag. So if you don't know, the mid-year freakout tag is a few questions that I have to answer about some of my favorite, least favorite books of the year and other related questions, my hopes and dreams for the second half of the year. So I am very excited. Let's just get into it. But before, don't forget, subscribe, join the nerd gang, join our little family over here at GabysPages, and click that little bell icon so you can be notified of every new video. Let's get into it. So guys, I want to preface this by saying that I apologize for any weird noises that you're hearing. Outside it is currently raining cats and dogs, and unfortunately I do not control the weather. So if you hear some weird tapping noises and, otherwise rain related noises, that is why. But now let's get into the first question of the book tag. So, question, best book you've read so far this year? And to be honest, not a hard question for me. It is 100% One Last Stop by Miss Casey McQuiston. That was so good. I actually read this only last month, but it's already up there and I was expecting it to. Casey McQuiston is also the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue. And if you know anything about me, you know how much this book means to me. But One Last Stop is her sapphic romance with magical realism and is the love story of August and Jane. Jane is from the 1970s and is stuck in the subway, and it is August's responsibility to get her out of the subway. Will they succeed? Will they not? That is left for the reader to find out. But just incredible book, and every day since I've read this, I've wanted to reread it. That's how much I loved it. Question number 2, a new release that I haven't read yet. And I feel really guilty for this one, but it is The Other Black Girl by Miss Zakiya Dalila Harris. And I don't know the synopsis of this book still, and I don't want to know still because all I know is the blurb, which is Devil Wears Prada meets Get Out, which is all I needed to know that I love this book. And I actually got sent the ARC by the publisher, and I am a horrible person, and I haven't read this yet. I also received it as I was hitting a reading slump. So yeah, it was just perfect timing on that side. But I'm out of my reading slump now. I had a pretty good reading month. And I'm going on vacation at the end of the month of July. And I'm going to need some reads. And The Other Black Girl is definitely top of the list of books I want to bring over on vacation with me. So the next question is, what is my most anticipated release for the second half of 2021? I did make a whole video with my most anticipated releases for the summer 2021 if you want to check that out. But my pick for my top anticipated release is She Who Became the Sun by Miss Shelley Parker Chan. And I'm very excited because it is Mulan meets The Song of Achilles. And I love those, pop culture reference A meets pop culture reference B stories. When I had The Other Black Girl, it was Devil Wears Prada meets Get Out. There's also a book that I just started reading called Ace of Spades, and it would have been my most anticipated release for the second half of 2021, except now I own it and it came out in June. But Ace of Spades was Gossip Girl meets Get Out, so I love those meets, but I am very, very excited for this book, and the cover is just outstanding, and I will be impatiently waiting by my mailbox. So, next question, my biggest disappointment this year. There weren't that many disappointments, I have to say. I've had a really good reading year, quite a few 5 stars, but I have to say biggest disappointment is A Song Below Water. I have never felt that high of excitement with that low of payoff in a long time. Honestly, you guys, if I'm thinking level of excitement versus payoff, I know this is going to sound horrible, because it's a horrible statement, but y'all remember the Avatar The Last Airbender movie? this is what it felt like. I was so hyped for it, and it. Where's my paycheck? Like, what was this for? What? Why?
But you did this for what?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why though?
Anyways, I go more in depth about everything I did not enjoy about this book in my June wrap up, if you want to check that out as well. But disappointments, definitely biggest disappointment. Obviously, the runner up, Handmaid's Tale. Although it was more bearable to read through Handmaid's Tale, but at the same time, I was mad at the end of Handmaid's Tale. I feel like there was no payoff. I hated that, but A Song Below Water takes the cake on that one. So next question, my biggest surprise of the year, and honestly, I've had a few surprises this year. I've had a few books that were sort of underrated that I ended up reading, but A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair was honestly one of my biggest surprises. And it's funny because it was exactly what I expected, but also not at all. I realize that makes no sense as a statement, but just follow me. Follow through, okay? I pictured A Touch of Darkness as sort of a trashy, smutty book that I could read for fun on the side. I thought it was going to be light and fun. And that's exactly what it was. Trashy, smutty, light, and fun. But also, in the weirdest way, you stay so into the story. I've never felt that before when trashy smut was just so like animating. This was a one night read, you guys. And I realized like I've done one night reads before, like it's not impressive. I mean it's what 350 pages, a bit less than that, 340. So it's not impressive that it's a one night read, but it's impressive that this book was a one night read. I didn't realize that I read all night until I was at the end of the book. And yeah, I was just shooketh by how much I ended up enjoying it, even though I knew I was going to enjoy it. I know it makes no sense, but I'm still shooketh, you guys. I'm still shooketh by my response to this book and my feelings towards this book. So yeah, biggest surprise so far of 2021 for sure. So next question, new favorite author, first book that I've read from an author or a debut novel, and it will have to go to T.J. Klune for The House in the Cerulean Sea. It was an early read of 2021. I believe I read this in February. Holy moly, I love this book so much, and it was my favorite book of 2021 so far, up until June when I read One Last Stop. But honestly, depending on the time of day, one or the other could be my favorite. But this is the first book that I read of TJ Klune, and I'm very excited to read some of his other works because freaking love this book. And again, I will talk endlessly about how much I love the cover of this book. But yeah, definitely new favorite author goes to TJ Klune. Next question is new favorite character, and that goes back again to One Last Stop by Kisimi Quiston. And it goes to the character of August because I just loved her so much. She reminded me a lot of me. Maybe that's why I loved her so much, you know. But I actually loved her so much. I love how much of a detective she was, and I love how, you know, I just felt like she was such a real person. And I couldn't, like, it's so hard to explain, but I could three-dimensionally really picture her personality, which I realize sounds messed up and it sounds like I'm on drugs. But that's what it felt reading this book, and I think that's definitely one of the biggest talents of Casey McQuiston, making every character past a three-dimensional. It was like 4D, 5D, you know, 5-dimensional maybe. 6-dimensional. Like I felt like August was right next to me the entire time. And yeah, that is why August is one of my favorite characters, and that's why this book is favorite book of the year. So next question, a book that made you happy. And that definitely goes to Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. Wow. Oof. Literally, this book feels exactly like the feeling of hot chocolate on a warm day, right when it's right here in the chest going down the esophagus. I'm painting a very, very detailed picture because you need to understand how lovely the story is and how happy it made me. I ended up reading this actually around Valentine's Day. I think it was Valentine's Day weekend I read this, so I was already high on emotions and love on Valentine's Day, and then I read this, and it was just on another level. I disappeared and became Cupid himself. Yeah, that was just an incredible read, and I really want to pick up the rest of the Heartstopper volumes. There are now 4 released. Alice Oseman has released, I think, the entire story online, but I'm a book collector, okay, you guys? I love having physical books, so I want to buy the others, but they're like $20 each. And for a one-sit read, it's like, is it worth it? Not really. So I'm gonna wait and save my money and buy the rest of the volumes, but ooh, the serotonin from this one on another level. So next question is the most beautiful book I've bought so far this year, and I gotta say, that is tough. I definitely buy books. I definitely judge books by their covers, 100%. But I have to say, I think the books that have come out in the past 2 years, 2020 and 2021, the innovation, the talentry, the beauty.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
I don't know how to explain it, but every single book cover that I have bought, a book that has been released in 2020 or 2021, has been infused with magic. They are just so outstanding. But I think the one who takes the cake is going to be It Is Wood, It Is Stone by Gabriella Burnham. That was, I was interested in the story and I read the synopsis. I haven't read this book yet, but I have to say, definitely a cover buy. Like, I'm gonna out myself and say this was a cover buy because, God, I think this cover is just outstanding, and we don't get that much yellow moments in books. I have a few books that are yellow sprinkled through my bookshelf, but not that many, and just this was just outstanding and a beautiful shade of yellow. This is my favorite shade of yellow, by the way, if everybody was wondering, curious. And I love how the spine is white and yellow, and then the back continues with the flowers on the sides. And just I could talk about covers all day. Honestly, if I had drawing skills, graphic design skills, I would definitely be a cover artist for books, because I freaking love book covers, and I could talk about that endlessly. And every time I talk about a book cover, I'm like, should I make a video just talking about my favorite book covers and talking about the beauty of book covers? That video would be 3 hours long, probably. But book covers are beautiful, and I love physical books so much. And gosh, but yeah, It Is Wood, It Is Stone wins that award. So the final question in the mid-year book freakout tag is, what are the books that I absolutely have to read this year? And I would say my entire bookshelf, but that's impossible because, I mean, I'm not that fast a reader. But I have to say, any book that was gifted to me this year, I've gotten so many books for my birthday. I got a book from a follower over on Instagram. I got Crooked Kingdom from a follower. I got 2 books sent by publishers. And I feel so bad when I'm not like reading right away the books that have been given to me, because I don't know, I feel ungrateful, even though I'm very grateful and I love books and I'm going to read them. I feel like if I'm not reading it right in the moment that they give it to me, I feel like a horrible person. But that's another story for another day. But I'd say those are my priorities, because yeah, I want to say thank you to the people who gave me books by reading them. So if you ever end up buying me a book from my Amazon wish list, you know I'm gonna read it, because otherwise I'll feel guilty. So that's that. But yeah, that, any gifts. I've gotten so many books. I will link my birthday book haul, but okay. It's a lot of books. But I'm gonna try to get through all of the gifted books, hopefully by the end of the year. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. That is all I have for you guys today. If you watch all the way to the end, thank you very much. And leave down below an emoji with, the mind blown emoji, the one where the brain explodes. Please leave that down below because it is a freak out tag. So, kind of just makes sense. But please, as always, leave me down below what are the books that correspond to these different questions, biggest surprises, favorite books, favorite characters, etc. Please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Goodreads, and Storygraph, which will be linked down below. And you could also help out this channel by buying a book from my Amazon wishlist, which is linked down below, or using my book outlet referral tag or my TubeBuddy referral tag, or also donating money to my Ko-fi. It's all very appreciated. And as always, all the books that I mentioned today will be linked down below with Amazon affiliate links. If you buy from those links, I get a little extra money at no extra price to you. So thank you guys so much. I will see you very soon. Bye.